Yes. South Got Something to Say podcast is live. Tell a friend to come on in. What a show, what a jam-packed show we got for y'all today. Tell a friend to come on in. What a show. What a show. In tonight's episode, we're going to go deep into the unique challenges black men face when it comes to mental health. From societal expectations to cultural stigmas. We're talking about the realities, the pressures, and why breaking the silence is crucial for healing. This is the conversation we need to have, we don't have, and you don't want to miss it. Let's talk about it. South Got Something to Say podcast is live. Bring in my intro. Yes. What a show we got for y'all today. This is a show y'all don't want to miss. This is a show that we not held enough. Where's our safe space? Black men are often not given a safe space. Yes. The strong, silent stick. Yes. What a show, man. Y'all tell some people to get on in here. If you know some men that need to hear the conversation, get them on in here. Y'all tear the comment section up. Share the video. Like the video. Follow me on YouTube. The South Got Something to Say podcast with Melbo. Follow me on Facebook. Send stars. Every little bit count. We trying to help our little bits. Every little bit count when we trying to help our little bit. So y'all send the stars, y'all get on in here. Tell a friend that we got a very important show for y'all today. And when I say important, I mean important. This is something that y'all don't want to miss. South Got Something to Say podcast is live. Yes. Before we get into all of that, we gonna go and run our necessary thing that we got to get the house cleaning out the way first. Let's get it. Let's go.
Support literacy development in the classroom by exercising your right to choose Chestnut again. As a retired educator and current state school board member, Chestnut has devoted much of her career in education to supporting the advancement of literacy learning for students and educators. Choose Chestnut again on November 5th, State School Board District 5, paid for by the committee to re-elect Tanya Chestnut.
Yes. Y'all, please get out and vote on November the 5th. Choose Chestnut again. Dr. Tanya Chestnut, one of the greatest educators that ever came through Selma. She has been doing it for years. She was a great teacher, a great administrator, and a great teacher of teachers. She is the best. She has been doing big things for our itty bitties over in Montgomery. So I encourage y'all again to choose Chestnut again. And we got one more ad we want to run for y'all. This is very near and dear to my heart. So we going to go and run it. Let's get it. Let's go. Yes. Starting Saturday, September the 21st, 2024, the New Peace Missionary Baptist Church will be holding a breakfast sale. Enjoy a delicious and affordable meal while supporting a wonderful cause. New Peace Missionary Baptist Church is excited to announce they're having a special friends and family fundraiser. It's beginning on September the 21st. Join us for a delicious and affordable breakfast while supporting a great cause. $6 a plate, man. 2310 Highway 80 East. We'll be out there from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. We got grits, eggs. You're going to get 2 beets, 2 bacons, 2 sausage, a bacon and a sausage. If you want an extra piece of meat, some more meat, just ask for it. We'll get you one for $1. We have them toast and biscuits jumping. Stop to say hello and get a cup of coffee on the house. Shout out to New Free Missionary Baptist Church, who was very vital and important in helping us with our back to school drive. So we would gladly promote and hope that they have a successful fundraiser. So we'll see y'all out there at New Peace Missionary Baptist Church, 2310 Highway 80 East on Saturday, September the 21st. Let's get it. Let's go. Now it's time for us to get into our content for the day. What a show we got for y'all today. What a show we got for y'all today. Black men often feel they cannot open up about their mental health struggles for several reasons, many of which are deeply rooted in cultural, society, and historical factors. Why do black men often feel they can't open up to their mental health struggle? Let's talk about it. That's what we on today. So everybody get their pen and their pad ready. I got my notes. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I did do some research. So what I'm giving you is the research I got. Y'all feel free to correct me. Feel free to put in the comment section what you think. This is not nothing that I can set in stone. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. This is just the experience of black man dealing with mental health myself. So I understand what I'm talking about, but I don't have the expertise to say it's fact. I can only give you what the research says. And a lot of times I always encourage y'all on the South Got Something to Say podcast, do your own research. But what we got to do, we got to address the stigma that is surrounding our black men when it comes to mental health. Why do black men often feel they cannot open up to their mental health struggle? I got 10 reasons. Why men can't open up to their mental health struggles, and I got one reason why I got to stop. Let's get it. Let's go. Yes. What a show we got for y'all today. We not sugarcoating it. We not playing. A lot of times we want to tiptoe around the mental health issues, especially when it comes to black men. And truth be told, the black men are probably the most affected by our mental health struggles. So when we talk about these 10 reasons, when we talk about the reasons why men struggle so much with mental health, it's time for us to start looking black men in the face as man to man. We got to start looking them in their face and let their struggles show. Stop masking your emotions. Stop hiding your feelings. Stop running. Stop being so masculine all the time. And sometimes you got to be like a lion and a lamb. See, I'm a lion and a lamb. I'm a lion enough to tear some up, but I'm a lamb enough to humble myself and put it back together again. We got to understand that men struggle with mental health also. So we're going to talk about 10 reasons why men are afraid to open up to their mental health struggles. And we're going to start with number one, cultural expectations of masculinity. To break that down, you're expected to be a man. Cultural expectations of masculinity. Y'all write these things down. Y'all chime in the comment section. Jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think. In many communities, especially in the African American culture, men are often expected to be strong, stoic, and resilient in the face of adversity. Vulnerability and expressing emotional or mental struggles can be seen as a sign of weakness, contradicting traditional expectations of masculinity. This toughness is encouraged early on, making it difficult for Black men to express emotions like sadness or anxiety. Let's talk about it. We are taught from a baby to be a man. Stop all that whining. Stop crying. Go be a man. You are taught from a little boy, when you get a boo-boo, don't whine. When you scuff your knee, stop that crying. Be a man. That is put in young Black boys' head from the time they are old enough to walk. And a lot of times it become a cultural expectation that you got to walk around with a certain masculinity. You are often told you got to be strong. You got to be resilient when adversity faces. You don't get time to cry. You don't get time to sit down and talk about it. You got to get up and keep moving. That's what we tell Black men. You got to be tough. That's what we tell Black men. You don't get to express your emotions. That's a problem. Yes, that's why I use the lamb and the lion. Sometimes you got to be the lion because you a man, sitting here to protect, produce, and provide. But sometimes you got to be the lamb. Sometimes you got to be the lamb where you got to humble yourself, express your emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to find your safe space. It's okay to talk. It's okay to seek mental health. We got to do that. It's mandatory we do that. So number one, cultural expectations of masculinity. You are expected to be a man. You are expected to be tough. Number two, historical trauma and resilience. Historical trauma dating back 400 years ago of trauma. The African American experience is marked by historical trauma, from slavery to segregation to systemic racism, which we deal with to this day. Many Black men have learned to cope with these external pressures through resilience and emotional suppression. Seeking help or admitting mental health challenge might feel like a deviation from that survival mentality. As Black men, we have often navigated environments where showing vulnerability can be dangerous. Historical trauma. We have often dealt with trauma that we had to mask. 400 years ago, men had to mask their trauma. In the 60s, they had to mask their trauma. And even today, with systemic racism, we got to mask our trauma. A lot of times, we don't get time enough to cry or to talk or to seek help. But the trauma still exists. The trauma is still there. We got to unmask this trauma. We don't get a chance to cry. When we was younger, our daddy put that belt to our butt when we weren't acting like a man. When you go talk to your dad, when you got something to talk to your father about, he tell you to go be a man. But that historical trauma exists. Number three, fear of stigma. Mental health struggles are highly stigmatized in many communities, but especially in the Black community. Mental health issues are misunderstood or minimized. A Black man admitted to depression or anxiety may fear judgment from family, peers, friends, or peers, worrying that they will be labeled crazy or weak. This stigma attached to mental health in the Black community often prevents many from seeking help. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We are so quick to stigmatize each other, male or female, and especially to the Black man. We don't get a chance to be vulnerable, because when we're vulnerable, we are labeled weak. When we're vulnerable, we're labeled crazy. When we admit to mental health issues, I don't want to deal with no man with no issues. So many times men are stigmatized. So many times men are labeled as crazy or weak because they admit to the mental health struggles So a lot of times, in order to not seem weak, because no lion want to look weak. No lion want to look weak. We can't be the lion because we are too busy trying to play lion. We are too busy trying to play lion that we don't get a chance to be weak. We are so busy trying to be tough and showing our masculinity that we don't get time to be weak. But it will help a lot if we stop stigmatizing, because one of the biggest fears to men with mental health issues or who want to address their mental health issue is the fear of stigma. Number 4, mistrust in the healthcare system. A lot of men don't want to go to the doctor for nothing. A lot of men don't want to go to the doctor for nothing. And you mean to tell me I won't go when my foot hurts, but you think I'm gonna go when I ain't feeling right? When I'm having a little anxiety, a little depression? I'm gonna get through it. I'm a man. Due to a long history of racial discrimination, exploitation, and bias within the medical system, many black men have a deep mistrust for mental health professionals. This distrust can make them hesitant to open up to therapists or counselors, fearing they won't be understood or may face further harm. Some folks really feel once they go try to get their mental, you're going to lock me in that crazy house and you're going to make me crazier. A lot of men feel that way. That if I go to a mental health professional, but I don't trust you. Look what y'all did with the Tuskegee syphilis study. We don't trust you. We don't trust you due to racial discrimination that's in all fields of society. What make me think I'm going to trust you? And while we at it, it will bring me to my next point, and I'm going to tie them together. It's a lack of representation in mental health. It's not enough people that look like me in mental health. It ain't a lot of therapists that look like me. There's not a lot of psychiatrists that look like me. The mental health field has a significant lack of black male therapists, counselors, and psychiatrists. Many black men feel that a non-black professional won't fully understand their black struggle. Let me say that again. Many black men feel that a non-black mental health professional won't understand their black struggle. And that's real. That's real, y'all. That's real. But where do we draw the line? How do we educate our kids, our itty bitties? How do we get our itty bitties to explore this field? It's a very profitable field. It's a very profitable field, but they don't see it around enough because we don't utilize the field enough. And that's real. That brings me to number 6, economic and social pressures. Black men, particularly those in low-income communities, may feel that they don't have the luxury of addressing their mental health because they are too focused on survival and making ends meet. They have to support their families and deal with systematic obstacles. These pressures can make mental health concerns seem secondary or unimportant. I am not missing my 40 hours to go see no therapist. If I take a day off my job, how do my children eat? Men feel that way because we're rooted with that protector and provider mentality because that's what we are. We're rooted with that mentality. So I don't have time to see no therapist. I don't have time to see no psychiatrist. I am not leaving my job. I will be okay. I will be okay. I've been taught since I was 2 years old enough to walk. I've been taught since I've been old enough to walk I've been taught since I was old enough to walk. Suck it up. Be a man. Toughen up. Be a man. I ain't getting off my job. I'm not getting off my job to go see no therapist. And things are eating them up inside. Depression is bearing down on them, but they got to walk around strong. And then it adds to their stress level. Y'all know I'm talking. Y'all know I know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Number seven, very important. Fear of judgment and rejection. Men are scared to be vulnerable because a lot of times when they are not at their best, it is used against them. Men are afraid to be vulnerable because many times when they're not at their best, it is used against them. Many men, including black men, fear vulnerability because it's often being weaponized against them, especially in the moments when they're not at their best. A lot of times when you confide, when this woman or your parents or anybody tell you this is your safe space. But see, can't nobody tell me where my safe space is because I can identify the space once I'm in it, whether it's safe or not. But so many times when you become vulnerable and you let people into your emotions and your feelings, it be weaponized against you. So men have a fear of judgment and rejection. When men express vulnerability, they risk being judged or rejected, whether by friends, family, or romantic partners. There's a society expectation that men should always be strong and in control, and any display of emotional struggle might lead to people viewing them as less capable of being a protector and provider. In some cases, men feel that their vulnerability will make others lose respect for them and make them look weak. That is the realest thing that we're going to talk about today. So many times, men don't get a chance. Men don't get a chance to be weak. Men are not weak, vulnerable. Because when you are vulnerable, that's a sign of weakness. And people will judge you and use that against you, especially when you're not at your best. Especially when the conversation ain't going the way that the other person wanted to go. When the conversation ain't moving the way you want it to move, you get into any argument or debate or anything, they will weaponize you with the struggles that you already talked to them about, but you claim it was a safe space. Let's talk about it. That's real. Fear of judgment and rejection. When men express vulnerability, they are risking being judged and rejected. Number 8. Weaponization of vulnerability in relationships. A continuation of what we were just talking about. In personal relationships, that means with your significant other, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, your close friend, or whoever, your side piece, or whoever it may be. People will use your vulnerability and weaponize it in relationships. In personal relationships, men might hesitate to be vulnerable because they fear that their openness will later be used against them. For example, if a man admits to struggling with self-doubt, stress, or emotional pain, he may fear that in a future argument or disagreement, these admissions will be thrown back at him as evidence of inadequacy. The first time I can't pay that bill, and you already know it, if you weren't so sorry, if you weren't so weak, up here crying about your feelings and emotions all the time, you can pay this. Things will be weaponized. Mental health struggle will be weaponized against them. Y'all know I ain't lying. Let's talk about it. Number 8. 8 or 9. I done lost count. I got so many. I done lost count. But we're going to still talk about it. We got societal pressure to man up. You remember when I talked about it at the beginning? as a little kid when you scrape your knee and your daddy tell you, boy, toughen up, be a man. Now, when you even as an adult, you got societal pressure to man up. Society often reinforces the idea that men should man up and not let their emotions show. When men do express their struggles, they may encounter responses that diminish their feelings, such as being told to toughen up. Talked about that earlier as a child. It don't change as a man. If I go to some of my homeboys and tell them about some of my issues, man, you need to toughen up. Man, you sound weak. Man, you need to toughen up. This pressure to constantly be strong can make men feel that showing any weakness will lead to shame or embarrassment. By saying that, we don't have time to show weakness because it's embarrassing to be weak as a man. We don't get to lay around and like they did in Waiting to Exhale. We got to get up and be a man. It's societal pressure to man up. Fear of losing control. See, that's the thing. When y'all let all this stuff build up in y'all, and y'all wonder why men go off the deep end, and why men go and do crazy things, or jump on women, or beat on children, y'all sit up here and don't understand that that's a major fear. When you holding so much in, trying to be so tough, there's never an excuse to hit a woman or a child unjustly. There's no excuse. But we got to be realistic in the moment that when you allow all this stuff to build up, it's a fear of losing control. For many men, being vulnerable can feel like losing control over their image or situation. See, when you feel like you have lost control of your image or your situation, men often feel pressure to control everything around them. And when you lose that control, you lash out. When you don't see, so now you gotta really be a lion. You's a road lion at that point. That you done lost control of the things you thought you had control of because you showed signs of vulnerability. Now you gotta lash out. You gotta disrupt. You gotta disrupt the normal schedule program to show that I'm the man. And a lot of times that leads to violence. That leads to violence. And that's why we need to let men be vulnerable at times. It's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And the last one we're going to talk about, the very last one we're going to talk about, then we're going to talk about the one reason why we should take control over our mental health struggles. Long-term consequences. Some men worry about the long-term consequences of revealing their vulnerability, whether in a professional setting or a relationship. They may fear that their moments of weakness will be remembered and used against them in critical situations. For instance, a man might hesitate to talk about his anxiety or stress at work, fearing it will seem as a lack of capability or resilience when promotions or important assignments come up. The fear of vulnerability being used against them makes it harder for men to seek help or talk about their mental health struggles, reinforcing the cycle of emotional isolation. It highlights the need for society to create where men can be emotionally open without the fears of judgment or exploitation. To sum all of that up, men are afraid that if I show weakness, if I show that this is stressing me, you might not trust me to do the job. Whatever that job is, whether it's being a father. If I show you that I got vulnerability in being a father, you might find a man who do not show vulnerability. If I tell the boss that I'm stressed, this job is doing this to me, I'm getting depressed, this is too much, then you can't do the job. Let's find a man that can do the job. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand how emotional draining that is for a man to have to walk around like that every day of his life. Do y'all understand how emotional draining it is for a man to have to walk around like that all their life? So we got to start taking control of our mental health as black men. As black men, we got to take control. We got to stop fearing stigmatization. We got to stop fearing being stigmatized. We got to get rid of that cultural expectation of masculinity. We got to stop walking around acting like we got to man up at all times. That's why I told you about the lion and the lamb. I'm the lion and the lamb. Oh yeah, I'm man enough to tear some stuff up, but I'm humble enough to put it back together again. Oh yeah, ain't no doubt about that. We got to understand that we got historical trauma. We got historical trauma. We got to trust the healthcare system in some point, in some way. We got to seek help. We got to have someone we can talk to. We got to understand that we need to be more represented in the mental health field. Can't nobody understand the black struggle like a black man. We need more representation in the mental health field. And we got to overcome economic and social pressure. God will provide. Sometimes you got to take a day off and go to see about your health. And that's your physical health and your mental health. See, people will get up and tell you they got diabetes. They'll tell you they got cancer. They'll tell you they got COVID. They'll tell you, but nobody want to talk about their mental health struggles. We got to stop having a fear of judgment or rejection. It is what it is. You're going to either love me for me or don't love me at all. That's on you. We got to stop walking around with a fear of judgment and rejection. And everybody else need to stop weaponizing vulnerability in relationships. Stop using what you claim was a safe space to your advantage when it's time for a debate or argument. You got to stop it. There's no societal pressure to man. I'm lying enough to tear something up, and I'm lamb enough to put something back together. We got to stop having that. We got to stop having that mentality that we got a man up. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be vulnerable at a state. It's okay, because that's the stress that builds up, that we lose control. When we feel like we lose the control in one area, we'll try to take control in another one. That will lead to violence. So those are the 10, 11. It might have been more than 10. I got caught up. I got caught up in it. But I am going to talk about the one thing we can do. I am going to talk about the one thing we can do. We can start giving more to God. We can start trusting more into our spiritual aspect. Stop depending on the word and the thoughts and the opinion of humans just like you, who dealing with issues just like you. It's time for us to step up, stand up, and face whatever struggles we dealing with head on. Stop hiding and masking your emotions and your feelings. Create and understand your safe space. Can't nobody tell you where your safe space is. You will identify if the space is safe when you're in it. Stop trusting that everybody thinks that this is your safe space. Hey, baby girl. Hope you're doing some schoolwork over there. Stop thinking Stop thinking that everybody who tell you got a safe space, that the space is safe. You should be able to identify if the space is safe when you in the space. So those were some important topics, and we're going to start building off of these topics. We're going to start building off these topics. Been doing good, Dad, watching you. Good job, baby. We're going to start building off of these topics. And we got to get more people involved. We got to get more people, because that is what's going on in our community. That's why the gun violence, the drugs, the alcohol, everything is out of control. Everything is out of control. Because men have failed to address their vulnerabilities. They mask it with alcohol. They mask it with drugs. They act tough with guns because they have the fear of losing control. If you want to know what your little black boys dealing with, they dealing with this every day. Everything we talked about on this episode is what your black boys dealing with in them schools every day. We gotta stop running and hiding from the real issues in our community. We got to stop running and hiding from the real issues in our community. We gotta stop following this junk. We got to stop entertaining this junk. We got to stop letting this junk take over our mind. You can't even open up your TVs. You can't even open up your TVs. You can't even listen to your radio. You can't even do anything. This is where we at, y'all. This is how serious it is right now. If we don't get our act together, believe me, our society, our community ain't gonna get no better. Dealing with these emotional and mental health struggles is the only, facing them head on is the only thing that we can do. And it's time for us to build. It's time for us to build off of the conversation we just had. So I'm going to run down the list one more time. And I'm not going to expound on each and every last one of them. But the 10 things that we can do to help men open up to the 10 reasons why men don't open up to their mental health struggle is: number 1, cultural expectation of masculinity. Number 2, historical trauma and resilience. Number 3, fear of stigma. Number 4, mistrust in the healthcare system. Number 5, lack of representation in the mental health system. Number 6, economic and social pressures. Number 7, fear of judgment and rejection. Number 8, weaponization of vulnerabilities in relationship. Number 9, society pressure to man up. And number 10, fear of losing control, and a bonus, long-term consequences. That's what we're dealing with. I thank y'all so much for paying attention to this. This is a very important issue that's in our community. This is a issue that the South Got Something to Say podcast is going to continue to address. And we're going to continue to make aware, and we're going to continue to have these type of episodes so we can start feeling more open. And then we can get people to understand better what men are dealing with every day. A black man with a mental health problem, you are looking at him. It is me. And I'm not ashamed of it. I don't run from it. I don't hide from it. I'm a black man with a mental health problem. It is millions of us. It's millions of us who try to mask, hide, and disguise our emotions. We would never admit to depression. We would never admit to anxiety because we're too busy trying to man up. But I'm going to tell you about this man right here with mental health issues. I'm a lion and a lamb. I'm a lion and a lamb. I'm a lion enough to tear some stuff up, but I'm lamb and humble enough to put it back together again. Let's get it. Let's go. What a show. What a show. What a show. The South Got Something to Say podcast. Tackling the important issue. We can't that matter over on the South Side. Don't care nothing about it on the South Got Something to Say podcast. You don't want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. The society don't want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the South Got Something to Say podcast with Melbo. We got content like this coming all the time. Yes, yes, yes. The strong, silent stigma, black male mental health info. Only on the South Got Something to Say podcast. Where else you gonna get some content like this at? Where else you gonna get some content like this at? Everybody else scared to talk about it. We ain't scared to talk about it. That don't be on the South Got Something to Say podcast. Let's get it. Let's go. Yes, yes, yes. You already know how we end this thing up. You already know how we end it up. Let's get it. Let's go. Yes.
Some things don't matter. You shine me. You and time. You
South Got Something to Say podcast.
I don't find them.
Man, every Wednesday night, every Sunday, man, we do it. This is what we do. We out here. We ain't running, we ain't hiding. Hey, I'm going to have a black man panel. I'm going to find me. You know what?
I am the best. You hit the top.
I'm gonna do a black man panel next week. I'm gonna find me 3 or 4 men that don't mind coming on this panel, and we gonna talk about it. Y'all tell a friend that Melbo gonna make it his personal mission to have a black male panel on next week, and we gonna continue the conversation. Y'all tell a friend to tell a friend. Next Wednesday. Next week,
finna change right now. Balenciaga for all your friends.
We're gonna have a black male panel, and we're gonna continue the conversation. I need more opinions than mine.
Right now. Why you so scared that somebody find out? I am a flex. Imagine your ex face when he find out. I am the best. You hit the top. Wait till they find out.
Next Wednesday, we having a black male panel. All me. Talk about mental health.
Balenciaga for all
we ain't running for no issues over the South Side. On the South Got Something to Say podcast.
Your life finna change right now. Don't bring friends around. I would behind your back.
Yes, yes, yes. Hey, y'all already know the motto. Each one, teach one. Love or be loved. What a show, what a show. Before we get out of here today, I got to do one more reminder. Yes, yes, yes. I got to do one more reminder. Y'all come out and join us on Saturday, man. New Peak Missionary Baptist Church, 2310 Highway to 80 East. Tell a friend, y'all come get y'all a $6 plate. Come get y'all a $6 plate, man. Boy, $6 breakfast. Grilled egg, bacon, sausage, toast and biscuit for $6. Man, you can't beat it. It's gonna be good. Stop by, say hello, and get a cup of coffee on the house. Y'all come check us out Saturday, September the 21st, 2024. Holla at your boy, Melbo. Yes, yes, yes. Let's get it. Let's go. Each one, teach one. Love or be loved. To the moon